Thank you, because this has been so good that I forgot why I'm here.
To dance.
Thank you.
You're here to dance.
The only worst thing would be singing. We'll leave that there. So, I'm glad I can't really see faces. That's good. So one of my favorite quotes comes from George Santayana, and it's, if you cannot remember history, you are condemned to repeat it. And I was, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure if this is going to be a story or a review, or I'm not really sure what this is, so I'm kind of winging it here. So it's also the ramblings of some middle-aged guy that probably talks to himself too much. About, it's been a year, a little over a year. I had the opportunity to go on my first trip outside of the United States. 50 years old, and it was the first time I would experience another culture other than my own. And it felt like the culmination of 2.5 years of ups and downs and mostly downs. I don't think my story is that dissimilar from many of you, but it was the middle of 2020. I'm standing in the middle of a suicide prevention nonprofit that I've helped grow for half my life. The pandemic shut down our business. Donations are trickling in, and I was devastated. And not to mention the founder of the organization, and a very close friend of mine, Linda, she was 800 miles away battling pancreatic cancer. And because of the pandemic, couldn't go visit her. And it would be a battle that she would lose in January of 2021. And along with those kind of personal challenges, I also saw the world around me turn into something that I couldn't even comprehend anymore. The partisan kind of discussions and misinformation and disinformation and families breaking apart because of different ideologies, and it was just too much to stomach. And on top of all that, my kid is in virtual school, and I unwillingly am asked to become a middle school math teacher to a very stubborn teenager, which was just, I don't recommend it. This trip for me became really important. It was something that I looked forward to and couldn't wait to make it happen. And so on the eve of my 50th birthday, a year ago, I got on the plane with my daughter, Finley, and my wife, Rachel, and the plan was to, over the course of 30 days, I would see 5 different countries and 6 or 7 different cities. It was the first time I hadn't worked, for 30 days, probably since I was 14. And so I was super excited. I wouldn't have to drive a car for 30 days, which I can't even remember when that happened. The thing that was really special, I would be gone for these 30 days. The first 2 weeks would be with my family. And as they would take a flight back to the States, I would hop on a plane and go to Munich. And in Munich, I would meet up with 3 friends of mine from Athens, and they decided to join me. And we had 9 days in Munich together. I would then move off to Prague when they would go home, and then back to Amsterdam and fly home. But that time in Munich was really special to me because I get to have an occasional beer with a friend, but you don't really get to spend the kind of quality time that you normally get to. And so the 3rd day we were in Munich, we went to this place called the Munich Documentation Center. in short, it was created or opened in 2015. It's basically it discusses the rise and the fall of the National Socialist Party, basically the Nazi Party. You may ask, why the hell is that on your list of things to go see? Well, I inherited my dad's fascination and nerdism when it comes to World War II history. So I really wanted to go to this place. And because of great friends, they decided to come along with me. But we walked to this building. It's kind of a square box. It has lots of windows, but it doesn't have a whole lot of architectural elements to it. It's a pretty building. But inside the building, there's a research center, 2 floors of research center. There's 3 floors above, and there's photographs and documents and essays, photographs, everything you can imagine. A lot of people mistake it for a museum, but when you visit, 90% of visitors 100% of visitors will spend 90% of their time reading, because it's just all about everything that has to do with the rise of the Nazi Party and the fall of the Nazi Party. And the thing that I realized there was that we get a kind of a truncated version in the United States, because we entered World War II in December 1941, and fought with the Allied forces until 1945. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you a history lesson. But anyway, the thing that amazed me was that the Nazi Party grew from Munich, and it started in 1920. And most of us think of the Nazi Party just kind of growing out overnight and taking over the world. But there were these small things, calculated things along the way. And one of my favorite parts of the documentation center is this long hallway. And there's these 8-foot pillars. And on each one, it lists all the people that spoke out about the rise of the Nazi Party. And I slowly walked down this hallway. There's probably 12 pillars on both sides. And they would tell stories of, the only one that's coming to mind right now is Thomas Mann, who's author, but there's musicians and other folks. And you essentially learn that many of them were exiled or murdered, or they took their own lives. And their stories really came alive as you walk down this hallway. And I got to the very end, and there was a group of school children, and through it, I saw this bright red sweatshirt, and they turned as I saw them, and it was a Georgia Bulldog sweatshirt. And in that moment, all these different things connected. I could see the similarities between, 1920 Munich and 2020 America. I could see the similarities of that kid who was the same age as my daughter and the parallel paths that they were taking. And it really struck me. It really challenged my sense of place. And so I finally made my way through the rest of my trip, and these questions and these experiences really kind of bugged me along the way, but they became a part of who I am. And so at the end of 30 days, I had made my way back to Amsterdam, got on a flight, and landed. And the one thing that I wanted to make sure of is that I didn't become complacent. Because one part of my personality is that I've always kind of sat back and just watched and let things happen. I like observing, But I soon realized that the beauty of America is that we are allowed a voice. And we are encouraged to listen to others. That's what we are here for. That's what makes this country special. But if you don't use that, then what's the point? And so that's what I learned from this trip, is to find my voice and to figure out how do I not waste that, and determine whether I'm going to be one of those people on one of those pillars or one of those silent masses that didn't say anything. And so tonight, is about, finding that voice, letting it grow, and thanks for allowing me to have that voice here tonight, and I hope I get a chance to use it again. Thank you.